Joining me now is Nancy Northup. She's the president and CEO of the Center for Reproductive Rights, an organization that has filed lawsuits in multiple states on behalf of abortion providers, including the one that successfully blocked North Dakota's abortion ban from taking effect this week. Nancy, thank you for joining us. Good to see you on this topic. So where are we? Are we... Obviously, empirically, we are worse off than we were when the day Roe v. Wade fell. But is there sentimental change? Is there political change? Are there things happening that could result in better outcomes in months to come, or no?
Well, let's just start with what you set up, which is that we are seeing the extremism of what the Supreme Court did on full display in the United States this week. 1 in 3 women in the United States have now lost access to abortion care in their home state. We saw things like Texas, as you pointed out, they let go into effect this week a law, felony law, with up to 99 years in prison as the consequences of that. And as you point out, Texas Attorney General is fighting the United States government because Texas doesn't want to comply with federal law. It says you have to give emergency care to pregnant women who come into a hospital in a crisis situation. They don't want to do that until she's on death's door. So the extremism is in full flower. Now, as you pointed out, we did have that great win in North Dakota under the state constitution. And this is where we're seeing some real protections. That's what was the vote in Kansas was about, was the state constitution in Kansas protects the right to abortion even more strongly than the federal constitution did under Roe. So I think what we're seeing here, both in Kansas and in North Dakota, is that there are state constitutions that will provide some protection, but also that when the voters get to decide themselves, they don't want their rights taken away. And I think we're going to continue to see that building.
I'm looking for a silver lining here. Is the extremism the silver lining? Is the fact, somebody said to me in Alabama a couple of weeks ago, this is not the dog catching the car, this is the dog slamming into the car. Are people who supported restrictions on abortion now looking at this thing, that's not exactly what we thought this was going to be?
Well, I think that's right. I mean, for years, this was able to be just kicked around as a political football. You could talk about banning abortion with no real consequences because it wasn't going to happen because the constitutional protections were there. But now people are seeing what it really means to ban abortion. They're seeing that it means that, 15% of pregnancies end up in a miscarriage. And some of those end up with people going to the emergency room and they're being denied care because doctors have to worry about the fact that they'll be criminally prosecuted up to 99 years in the state of Texas if they make a wrong call about treating a pregnancy emergency. And they're realizing what it means to have to travel hundreds and hundreds of miles to get abortion access in a state other than your own. So I think that the reality of this is set in, but we've always seen, even back when Roe was in place, voters in Mississippi voted against putting a personhood amendment in their constitution. When the voters have been given the chance to directly decide what the law is, they vote against these kind of extreme measures.
In fact, a Pew poll indicates that 56% of registered voters in August say that abortion will be an important factor in their vote this year, compared to 43% in March. That could be determinant in some races in November.
Yeah, I think it's going to be very important for everyone who supports abortion rights to make their position known in every way that they can. And that includes making sure that they hold their public officials accountable for the positions that they're taking on the issue.
Nancy, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Nancy Northup is the president and the CEO for the Center for Reproductive Rights.